well, here's some nice design work for a site in Scandinavia, and if we zoom in on the design, you can see a large number of species have been placed and all identified. So if we select one of the symbols, that's a symbol that's going to be used for lavandula, lavender, and the one adjacent to it is a grass, a miscanthus. So it's a design where all the symbols have been tagged. You'll find gCADPlus and show symbols with names really useful. It highlights those species that have a name, and clearly the rhododendron there, which is an existing rhododendron, hasn't yet been tagged. If I zoom out a little, notice that the designer here has used some of their favourite species and popped them over to the side, ready to be dragged in. What that means is that if you run the plant schedule tool, it's going to count those in the plant schedule. Let's just pick this one here, which is another one of these rhododendrons, and I'll just copy it quite a number of times. Remember that if we run that show symbols with names, all of those are going to be tagged, and that also means that if we run the quick plant schedule tool, draw the standard schedule, we're asked for a height. Let's set a height of 150 and a corner point there, and we'll draw up like so. I may have to do this a couple of times to get the sizing right, but gCADPlus has gone out and counted every one of those species. So that was a rhododendron. So if we look at it here, there are quite a number of rhododendrons, but rhododendron grandiflorum now has 6 in the design. So let's just come back here and just pick that one we used, which was this one here, and it is, I'll widen my properties box and pick it again. So it is the grandiflorum one. So there, I suspect now that none of these are used in the design at all. So I think happily we can remove those. They're just there being used to drag into position if required, and then we can just go gCADPlus and update the plant schedule. And if we now zoom in on that lower part of the plant schedule, the large rhododendron that we mentioned before now has disappeared from the plant list, and we now have the correct value. So it's just something to be a little careful of, and that tool, Show All Plants That Have Been Tagged, is a very, very useful tool indeed.